very strange news about a mishap which has happened in Kentucky. Or a person from Kentucky city, from one Kentucky city, accused Russian hackers of hacking his wife's conscience. He said then his wife started to blame Trump and Obama and all other presidents, which were American presidents throughout all its history, to destroy his own conscience and first of all his own mental health, which eventually led to problems with their marriage. So he started with the point that his wife began to sing Russian anthem every morning. And after this, he couldn't walk in properly at his work because he hadn't any sleep. So the second point was that his wife began to cook pancakes with black caviar. So it leads to a huge hole in their pocket because they began to have no money for other food except caviar. So and the third last point was that she began to watch the first channel of Russia. So and after all, her mind has gone mad in China. So this is all piece of news I would like to present to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, our time is up, unfortunately. Thank you to all the table topic speakers. I encourage you to scan this QR code or go through this link and vote for the best table topic speaker. I will remind you, the first one was Ivan. Where is Ivan the first? Ivan the first is here. Yeah, the next was Victoria. Victoria. Oh yeah, here. Victoria. After Victoria was Alex. Alex. Where is Alex? Yes, here is Alex. After him was Ivan the second, the younger Ivan. Philip and Andrew and Ray is here. Yeah, please vote for the best speaker. Don't forget about it. And I transfer my word back to our Toastmaster of today, Sofia. Thank you.
So we have 1 minute to vote for the best speaker. I want to do it too. Ready? Yeah? Sure, okay. Now it's one of the most important parts of the meeting. In Toastmasters, we pay attention not only to delivering speeches, not only to giving newcomers to participate, but also to evaluation. And I'd like to welcome to the stage our general evaluator who will evaluate the meeting as a whole and present his team of personal evaluators and our timer. So, Ermek Tektagulov, please. Welcome.
So I'm having a great team of one timer today in my evaluation team. So let's get to the second part of our meeting, the evaluation part, where we can evaluate the speakers who took the stage during our meeting and give the feedback. Because without the feedback, it is very difficult to progress, to understand what were your weaknesses and strong points in your speech. That's why it is very important to give the feedback. So we will start with the beginning of our meeting. There was a thought of the day by Anna with some philosophical approach to the mass media, positive and negative influence on our life. Then we have four speakers here. The one was after the break. And the first speaker was Mansur Geshkaev, and his personal evaluator is Artur Tuzbekov. Please take a stage.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters members, dear guests, dear Mansour. Thank you very much for your speech. It was interesting, and I think it was very useful for most of people here. I wasn't able to attend the meeting where you did present, but thanks to our YouTube channel, I was able to see it, and in the middle of meeting I did it, and it's easier for me to compare your previous speech to that one. I see improvements from your first speech, and I will start with them. Your speech was structured, and in the previous it wasn't changed. Your gestures, they became more various. You did some gestures, boom, no, I like it. But you see example from Roman, how you could make it more various from some famous writers, and it's also things to improve. You have from the previous elevator feedback about stage use. It was good, and now it's even more broader. But I think that led to some things which you could improve, because you started to use more stage, but at the same time you did it like this, and at that time you didn't have eye contact with your audience, and in my view, you walk too much on the stage. It's here stage is bigger, and you use all of the stage, and a lot of your speech you transfer from one corner to another. In the first speech, you did receive comment about your own stories. In that presentation, you added information about you using Pomodoro technique. But on the second technique, you didn't add anything that you use it and how it affected you. I think that in such kind of presentation, you have to build your expertise to say that I did it and it improved me and I was very effective, I became very effective now. It's yeah, and yeah, and the last thing, probably in such presentation, it's better to have slides, and in this case, everybody will remember easier, and that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. I cannot add anything more. You have a great potential, so good luck with your future speeches. The second speaker was Natalia Shurova, and her personal evaluator is Diana Azubi.
Natalia. Natalia? Where's you? You're here. Hey, Natalia. Every time I see you present on the stage, I see you getting better and better, and that's what I really like about you, that you're always taking the stage. I mean, if there is no speaker on some day, you come out, and that's something I advise to everyone. That's a great way to do it. Now, the things that I like today about you is how freely you moved on the stage. I did not feel nervousness in your gestures or anything. You were very free. I love it. Also, you brought a very interesting business case that I don't know about you, but I never heard about it. It was very interesting to hear. And also, you used eye contact, which was also great, and I did not feel that you were nervous or anything. Now, Natalia asked me specifically to pay attention to how interested is the audience to what she says. And I can give you a few tools that could help this presentation. For instance, engaging an interesting beginning. Today you started saying, I'm on an innovative path. How many people know what's an innovative path? Look, this is bad. Like, you should not have said that. People don't know what it is. Assume people know nothing. Same thing you said about the leadership style. People, who knows what the project about leadership style is in Toastmasters? Problem. Then you don't need to say it at all. And I know that you were doing it. I'll get back to it. And then when you were talking about your case, you introduced your company, but you started to describe many details about how big it is, about where it's headquarters, I think, and things like that. And at that point, I noticed that people started to look at you less. No need too much details in the beginning. We want something, something wow, something why we should listen to you. Maybe you could start as an example. Do you know how many people die? No, do you know how many people get blind from bad water? I mean, that's an interesting case. Then you could continue talking about something else, but here, everyone is listening to you, okay? Also, you could improve your vocal variety. I will talk about that privately, but here is the big mistake you did today. You know, TED Talkers, what's good about them? Are they all great speakers? Not really. They're not all great. However, their stories and their structures are fascinating, and that's what makes us listen to them. And today, you had a project on leadership style. Now, we didn't know what leadership style is, but in order to do it, you said that I'm doing it, but I don't want to talk about it. Yes? You made us confused. Then you talked about your business case. Then, before you ended, you mentioned your leadership thing again. You said, oh, maybe instead of the leadership style, we should pay attention to the ethical side. Yeah? And honestly, I didn't understand what's the message, especially if I didn't know why are you mentioning the leadership thing. Was your message that the leadership style is not important and we don't need to pay attention to it, or that we need to help more people?